not study no X-man. And you not have time for no new one too. So you woulda never gone for two of a man. And you did so what, you just a human too. You not have to feel shame and all. Now at the time to step brave and bold.
Hello, good evening, everybody, St Vincent the Grenadines, and everybody in the wider region, everybody globally. Welcome to another edition of Vincy Everything VEtv. And today, me, myself, and I, Gary Icon John, will be interviewing one of the most prolific lyricists, one of the greatest antagonists in the dancehall sphere of St Vincent the Grenadines from the early days of the early 2000s, who used to record with High Science Records and did many great clash events over the years throughout St Vincent the Grenadines, with himself and Skinny Fabulous and others, and also pioneered in the rhythm riding dancehall aspect being introduced to St Vincent the Grenadines. The man himself, Mr. Roger Thompson, aka the Landlord, who was also known back then as Sergeant Brett. The boss himself. Greetings, Bridget. What the vibes?
Icon.
What the scene, King?
And to the whole audience, everybody locked in, everybody viewing, you know, blessed love.
Now, brother, I want to know, brother, what is the history of the Landlord? Where did the Landlord grow up? What got the Landlord interested in music in the first place? Why was the Landlord feeling so enthusiastic about getting into music, and why did he take this step to get himself into the industry back then?
Nice. Yeah, let me just start by saying that, you know, growing up in St Vincent, Stubbs, to be specific.
Yeah.
You know, you're surrounded by musical icons. You're surrounded by a lot of people who, you know, even the farmer coming from a hard day's work in the field, coming down the road with a hoe over the shoulder, he has a little music chanting coming home.
Straight.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a man don't necessarily have to be an artist to be reciting a song or trying to cheer himself on after a hard day, or even the lady jogging, as we just say, jog or tote.
Yeah.
Tote in a bucket of water.
Yeah.
You know, to go home to full that
vessel.
That old barrel, that you know, that barrel that we get from overseas.
Yeah, man.
The plastic one. Yeah. You know, and even going through that, like people just going through their everyday routine, living their lives. From point A to B, there's always a song, a chant, something going on. And you as a young lad growing up, you're always gonna be hearing people saying things like that. And it's these little things, you know, it's these little things that they hook you.
Okay.
Subconsciously, they hook you. You know, you hear this song, somebody chanting something, and then the next day you hear it on the radio and you're like, that's the song that lady was singing yesterday, or that guy was singing yesterday. Then you start pay attention to it. Before you know it, you're actually looking for songs yourself, you know?
Straight.
And then being surrounded by more people who come directly now in contact with you and say, yo, you hear this song from Bounty Killer, you hear this song from Beanie Man. You hear that new song? You know, and it kind of makes you want to start that musical conversation. And as you go on with the conversation, it's pretty much easy now. Like my neighbor now, who would have given me a song to listen to. You look, I run you down, I know for your fault.
Take him, yeah, I know for your fault. Mad Cabra.
All right.
Mad Cabra.
Right. So
yeah.
Mad Cabra was the first, you know, and you know, back in the days you had Walkman. And I went by my neighbor, Guyman Brown. And I had the headphones. That was the first, this was my first time listening to a headphone.
Straight.
Right? I put it on, and the Mad Cabra was playing on the cassette. And I could have, if you were next to me, I would have sworn you were hearing me too. You know? So I put it on. Yeah, the song was playing, and then I'm like, his big sister was passing. And I was like, boy, this song like something out of place. So I took it off my head and tried to hide it. You know?
Subconsciously.
Yeah, so it's like, no, it's okay. It's only you alone gonna hear it. You know, and I was like, oh, okay then. So I put it back and then I'm listening. Yeah. And I love the sound of it. And he said, that's dancehall music. And that was it right there and then for me. I wanted to do dancehall music. I wanted to try and sing. So he encouraged me to start writing my own songs, writing songs. So I would write some lines and take it to him, and he would be like, "Nah, you could do better than that. Go and come again." So that he
See.
was my inspiration. He's the one who got me into music like that. And then my other friends now around me too were encouraging me. Then we used to have this little clashes now on the road, Bounty versus Beanie, of course. And
Ah. So
they were the ones.
wait. You being Beanie or Bounty?
Bounty, always a Bounty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, they were the ones who kind of got me into that practice of always wanting to clash somebody.
Yeah.
So that hostility or that aggression into always wanting to dethrone somebody or put somebody in the place, that came from those early days. And then, obviously going to St. Martin Secondary from like 94, where that was like an all boys institution.
So you don't know you had to defend yourself. You had to defend your own.
Lot of aggression from a lot of different guys through different forms, and it's like everybody kept coming, and that's where the whole thing really started and kept building. You know what I mean? So that's really to explain to you exactly why I got into the music from there, and then why it became so much a passion for me, because it was always like there's always somebody else trying to cut my throat lyrically.
Come and, you know what I mean, take your spot.
So you always have to stay on guard, and these are the things that kind of made me, like got to that point of that level of hostility when it comes to lyrics.
And resilience too, brother, because you have to be sharp on your foot. Come, I would meet you in the middle of town. I walk class you in a long time and
right.
Yeah,
right.
man. So, brother, speaking all things in one.
Yeah.
With all the clashing with Beanie versus Bounty, who was your favorite dancehall artist at that time? Was it Bounty?
It was Beanie. It was Beanie at first.
So you clashing as Bounty, but Beanie is your favorite artist.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because for me at that time, Beanie for me was always had a better stage presence in terms of the wave you rag, jump up, the dancing. He was incorporating
the interaction.
Yeah. And I think for me, with all the girls tune too, we love the girls.
Of course.
Wanna hear all the girl tune, and Beanie was like loaded with girl songs, and it was like, yo, Beanie. But then that same neighbor had given me a Bounty Killer live to listen to.
Yeah.
Tyron had given me a Bounty Killer live to listen to. And when I listened to that, and the level of interaction that Bounty displayed, and it's just a cassette, but it's just me picturing him speaking to the crowd. Like being the poor people's governor and elaborating and talking to the people, articulating himself, and youth, put down the gun, youth, the violence. And I was like, yo, you know what? I think this is a more positive. Beanie is all about the entertainment, but for me, Bounty Killer, you could get girl song, you could get gun tune, but he's also that man that kind of stays closer to reality.
Yeah.
And for me, that was where I kind of found myself in terms of, all right, if you're gonna do songs that make sense, you need to emulate Bounty Killer.
Bounty.
Right? Not emulate in the form of wanting to be Bounty Killer or trying to song like Bounty Killer, but like pattern from his vision. You know what I mean?
And his catalog, being wide and versatile artist, have a wide range of topics and be able to converse on different issues at different times, not just one set of topics over and over.
You get it. You got it. So that is why I decided Bounty Killer is the artist for me to listen to. And that's why from there on, Beanie, was still like one of my favorites, but I was looking forward to hear Bounty, because for me Bounty made sense. Right? So that was where I would clash. And I would use Bounty Killer because for me Bounty had the more poisonous gun tunes.
Venomous,
but
Beanie was your favorite at the time.
When you clash into, you have to incorporate a lot of Beanie, because it was only obvious. It was Bounty versus Beanie, and Beanie have a lot of girl songs. So you can't go one without the other. But for me, I gave you my reason as to why I decided Bounty Killer was now my favorite artist, and has then been from ever since. The only two artists I would have listened to, apart from Bounty in recent times would be Idonia and Vibes Cartel.
Obviously. Lyricism.
Lyrics. Yeah.
Now, brother, a lot of people would have wonder also over the years, those who would have known you from your earlier years in the industry, where did the first name for Roger Thompson originate? The first stage name, the first alias, Sergeant Bread, where did that come from? When did you begin adapting that alias?
Yeah, well, I had given myself name the Landlord at first, right?
Yeah.
That was in the early stages of St. Martin's, and in my career, I wanted to use that name, Landlord, because for me, a landlord doesn't necessarily have to own something, but he's just in charge of it. So for me, I was like the musical landlord. Nobody
Yeah.
owns the music, but I have to
Yeah.
show my superiority. So
Yeah.
Landlord was my name, but nobody knew that name per se because I was just known around Stubbs. Eventually, one of the other guys who were going to St. Martin Secondary with me
Yeah.
from the neighborhood, you know, he's who really kind of carried the name to town from Stubbs.
Oh,
You
so
know, and let them know that, back,
it was a community-based nickname.
yeah, the Sergeant Bread,
Yeah.
the landlord was my thing, but the Sergeant Bread, let me tell you how the Sergeant Bread came. I used to just eat a lot of bread. Bread, without drinking water, without juice, anything, I used to just eat a lot. Right? So one of my grandmother's sisters, you know,
Yeah.
she used to always be on the block with us while I'm eating the bread, and so she used to always, from like when she noticed, every time she see me after a period of time, every time she see me, she used to tell him, look the bread, man, look bread. So she's who actually gave me that name, Bread. But I'll tell you, the sergeant came because I had an altercation with a teacher in secondary school. You know, a little badness in school still.
Sid.
Yeah. So, you know, it came because of the music too. I was drumming on the desk. I always drum on the desk. And this particular day, you know, when you're famous for something, soon as it happens, everybody gonna automatically assume it's you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm always drumming on the desk. And then this one particular day, though, I wasn't doing it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Shaggy.
Right? I remember exactly who it was. I read your name, Stenet Sutherland. It was Stenet doing it. It wasn't me.
I understand it.
Yeah, and the teacher was writing on the board, so his back was turned.
Yeah.
And he heard the bass line coming from the desk, and automatically, while the man didn't even turn around, the man didn't turn around. The man just said, Mr. Thompson left my class. Leave my class.
One time.
So I stay seated because I'm like, yo, me moving and it's not me. You know?
Guilty by association, wrongful charge.
Next thing, the man come and try to get all physical with me, pulling me up to get out of his class and stuff like that. And that's where the little altercation, you know, ensued, and the man get physical with me.
See.
And I pull a desk foot and hit him. Yeah, I pull a desk foot and hit him. So, you know, get a little suspension for that.
Yeah.
It was really because he was, well, we were arguing before I hit him because he's like, oh, I'm the general of this class. I say, leave, you have to leave. But
Yeah.
I said, well, you the general. I could just be a sergeant, but I leave it. So
you ended up giving yourself a name indirectly.
right, because now after the altercation and the suspension, right? By the time I was coming back to school, you know, my classmates were all on the balcony looking on that morning. Now, as I came, they were saluting and like, Sergeant, you know. So it was like a joke, and then it just stopped because now, like I said, my fellow villager had already taken that bread and taken it downtown to the school, where he used to go to the same school too. So he would tell them, oh, Bread is his name back home, and everybody used to call me Bread. So when the sergeant came now, that's when that whole Sergeant Bread, everybody be like, Sergeant Bread, you know?
Used it.
So no, that was where that nickname came, and then for me, it was like, boy, nobody gonna call you Landlord right now. People not studying your singing name. People just studying the nickname that you have.
Nickname.
And it got popular. It got very popular, and then I just used it. So that's where that really came.
Straight. Well,
Yeah.
brother, I would have never suspected that, to tell you the truth. I knew it had a basis in a neighborhood nickname sense, but I didn't know it had a other side to it, where it was two names that became one. You know?
Yeah.
So that is something you learn about Mr. Roger Thompson today. Now, brother, what exactly caused you to change genre? When did that come about? Oh, before you go into that, let's finish out the dancehall part of your career. What are some of the most memorable things you have accomplished as a dancehall artist in St Vincent the Grenadines? What are some of the milestones that still stand out in your mind? We know you used to clash a lot with Skinny Fabulous. There are numerous clashes. A lot went your way, some went his way, you know, and you did many shows over the years. What are some of the milestones that still stand today in the eyes of the landlord when it comes to his career?
Well, briefly, you know, for me, performing on a stage doing dancehall in St Vincent, where we know dancehall is loved in St Vincent, mind you, but it's not really our culture per se to, you know.
It isn't as prominent.
Right. And to be doing dancehall in St Vincent, touch a stage, and you have a crowd of people responding to you as if you're like a bounty killer or a beanie. For me, that alone is already, you know, an achievement and a milestone, right? And that would have traveled with me. That feeling would have traveled with me to almost every show. Not all of them, but almost every show where I would have performed. Because even if I don't get, you know, the hands jumping up and that sort of thing,
yeah,
I wouldn't get booed, because I think my material that I'm presenting, it's somewhat enough to make people, at least, even if you're not gonna jump or carry on, you're gonna be listening, because you're already, you know, of the mindset that, you know, this one guy, he always sings some things that sound good. So, you know, probably a new song, we're just trying to get into it, so let's just listen. Not so much into the just jump up thing, but just listen to what he's saying. Yeah. Right. So some of the achievements, you know, would be like I said, just to have that crowd response.
Yeah.
That's good. But if you want like actual, for me to pinpoint stuff,
moment,
like say, okay, that's that G-Shed clash, especially with me and Skinny.
Yeah.
Of, you know, at G-Shed there. You know what I mean? That was like one of the, like the epitome, you know, in the dance hall. Yeah, because it's a clash.
Yeah.
Right? It's a clash. And in a clash, you're looking for crowd response and, you know what I mean, something to say, all right, this is it. This clash is done. This is who we think dominated the clash. Yeah. And I think we had gotten to that part, right? And to reflect back to that night, I think what had brought me a bit down was a bit of my inexperience at that time, though. Like the ability to clash and spit lyrics was there, but stage presence and, you know, that the whole works I was a bit inexperienced, where I would have, you know, he was just there dumbfounded and couldn't really find responses to my songs. And then it's like, instead of me just leaving the stage and just leaving it at that.
Yeah.
Like after I got the crowd to boo him and all of that stuff. For me, had I just left the stage and be like, yo, that's it. The clash is done and dusted. I've won. Let me just go. But I was just there like, yo, the movie can't sweet without the crook. You understand? Yeah. So although I'm the star,
you wanted a response.
We try and get the crook some play.
You wanted a response.
Right. And that's when I was even cheering the crowd and telling the crowd, yo, you know, urge him on, let him sing. Urge him on, it's okay. Clap. Let him sing. And then, you know, he swallowed hard, you know. And then he pulled himself.
He regrouped.
Yeah, he pulled himself back to a point, and he dropped a couple good bombs where, you know, where people were actually of the opinion in the end that, nah, boy, he Skinny kill him, you know. Skinny come back and kill him. But just the fact that he would say he come back, yeah, and kill me, I would be like, well, then that wasn't a clash, that was the mummy return then.
A resurrection. Well, you know how it goes. In the clash game, there's always a difference of opinions. Because if you
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
some
yeah.
people with the Movado and Vibes Cartel clash, some people will tell you Movado won. Some people will be vehement that Vibes Cartel won. As in clashes with Beanie and Bounty over the years, Swanee, even Bounty and Merciless, and it always has a difference in perspectives generally at the end of clash.
For real, man. Also, apart from the whole clash thing being one of the more memorable moments too, I think
Yeah,
when Great Z had done that show, The Shine, up at
Shine.
Peace Mo, for
Yeah,
me too, that was a very memorable night in the dancehall production too. You know, big up
straight.
Great Z. Yeah.
High science. Now,
Yeah.
brother, so how did you really get into the music on a professional level? Where did you start recording with? Who are some of the producers you worked with early on? I know you worked with Great Z from High Science, but there were many producers around at that time. So who really got you into the recording industry, that side of the industry, and um, who are some of the people you worked with over the years, and what are some of the projects that were more
The first
memorable?
the first project I worked on was a rhythm called the Well Dress Rhythm. Just yesterday, me and Scorpion was talking about that rhythm too.
See,
Um, yeah, and the Well Dressed Rhythm was produced by Madzad.
okay,
Yeah,
Ryan
Madzad, the singer.
Primus.
Yes, Rayan Primus.
It,
Well
it, it,
talented, well talented young man. Because like that was even back in like around 96, 97, I believe, like way back.
yeah,
You know,
all the
it could
stages,
be it it,
infancy,
it, it could be about 98, but somewhere in the 90s, right?
late 90s.
So yeah, Kami and Madzad, we've been friends from since in the 90s. We've been friends for years, but like me, you, Madzad, come on, we've been there for a long time, but some people only would have seen us rolling in the mid 2000s
2000s,
and,
yeah.
and thought, well, oh well, I
Just
can only
thinking.
come around Landlord because he probably want a song. Landlord come around I can because he want a song. But
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't know the history. Some of them don't know the history. But
sure.
say Madzad built the first rhythm, the well dressed rhythm.
Yeah,
And then we went to Adrian Bailey, Sky Studios
guys, studios.
Villa Fountain to
Yeah,
record. So Adrian Bailey was the first producer to really put me on, right?
okay,
And show some faith in me. And Adrian Bailey is a well-renowned top of the top producer. So for me
yeah,
that was very encouraging to see him having faith in me as a youngster. And
straight.
then Basics, Basics International,
That
Davan
one,
Keto.
Kato.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah,
Did some work with Davan as well, right? Galane was another artist, a big bad artist, but was also a producer who we did recording and a couple of projects for him as well.
straight.
You know
Jason
what I mean?
Best.
Jason Best, yes. So
Yeah,
like these are the artists slash producers who have been working along with in from those times. Early,
yeah,
early. And then I think why I got introduced to Great Z was because Madzat, who had 101% faith in me, was from since that day was telling me when that whole beef between me and Skinny was brewing, and
yeah,
I went to record on another rhythm for Madzat called the North Pole up at Basics in
yeah.
Belmont, and Skinny came up there to record too on the rhythm, and then eventually I think he wasn't satisfied with his response to my track, so he kept trying
Oh,
to change it or something like that, and then he got annoyed after they wouldn't let him change anymore, like coming back to change the lyrics and everything. So he went to a spot in Annisville,
yeah.
and then Madzad came and told me where he was. Go down there and find him because he trying to run. Go down there and find him. So that's why I ended
Hey,
up. That's
at
where
place.
I ended up at a place where it was later on known as High Science Recordings,
Yeah,
right? Yes, so that's how we all ended up with High Science. But prior to that, it was, recording with Madzat, Galani,
Adrian.
Basics,
Yeah,
yeah, and Adrian Bailey, yeah. So that's where it all started. Did a little work with Kobe Archie at the time too, while he was working along with Great Z, but
yeah,
not no much. And then I think I would have worked with some young producers, Dimes and Pixels,
yeah,
artists slash producers as well. I did some work before I left for Canada with them. And I think I would have worked with I can't forget Kamal Archibald who produced my big tune Take a Jump. You know?
Most definitely. And
yeah. Kamal was also Kamal was also my schoolmate. Kamal was also my schoolmate at St Martin Secondary. We were in the same class talking about music all these years until eventually everything manifested and you know, he became my producer.
Straight.
You know, we show faith in each other and that's how the music built. And that's how these youths gotta unite these days now. Don't look down on nobody. Everybody is, you know, we are all one. Like just unite and you show faith in me as an artist. I show faith in you as a producer. Work together, build a vibe. That's how Take a Jump came about.
Straight. It came from pure energy.
Yeah.
Good vibes. So what led you into the soca side of the industry?
Well, Madzard. Yeah, Madzard has always been one, like I said, always showing, you know, faith in me. He's never lost faith in me as an artist. And he's always telling me, you know, you're bad. You're too talented to sit around, you know.
Straight.
And the dancehall thing, you already prove yourself in that department. Everybody know you're bad.
Yeah.
You know. You gotta strive to broaden your boundaries, you know, because show your versatility.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, he encouraged me to get into the soca music and do the soca. Because for me, I would have just preferred to go downtown and let Icon and Madzard them sing and I just dance. I wind up on people, right? Yeah. But Madzard decided, no man, I think you should, you know, try the thing. And like, that's when I started to try the soca up at, I think I did one with them. He said that they had a rhythm called the ginger stick rhythm. I think it was ginger stick rhythm.
Yeah, the ginger stick rhythm. I remember that rhythm. Who was the producer behind that ginger?
Yeah, I believe it's either Madzard or Galane.
Okay.
Basics, one of them. I'm more leaning to Galane though.
All right.
But after that rhythm was produced, I can't quite remember my song on the rhythm.
Okay.
But that was my first effort.
So where did you record? Where did you record on that?
Galane had this song on it, a hard man with the I hear you, sorry.
Who actually recorded those vocals? Where was that recorded? That was recorded by Basic, Galane, or elsewhere?
No, it was done up at Basics. It was done by Basics.
At Basics in Belmont?
Yeah.
Straight.
Yes. I actually did this song with Top Knot Swift, who was then Baby Swift, because you know that's my classmate in St. Martin's as well. Right? Yeah. And you know, Kellan is another one too who are always supporting me and always trying the best to give me that spotlight as well. Me and Top Notch.
Yeah.
Right? Let me just say Baby Swift for now because I'm referring to that era. Take it out and wash it off. Take it out and wash it off. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Something about cooking in the kitchen and, you know, dipping your pot spoon in the pot and then, you know, you take out the pot spoon and wash it off. But we know what we're talking about, right?
It was a pun. It was a play on words.
Yeah.
It was a pun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was my first effort when Madzard decided, you know, encourage me, and then Top Notch Swift, you know, decided, yeah man, they would do this soca thing, they would try it, bam bam. So we did that, and then eventually I moved on. Then we went to High Science, did some music down there, you know, Floodstorm rhythm.
Bad rhythm.
Did a track named Wild Out. I did a couple of nice projects down there, but then I think it's when I went to, that was like 2004, 5, or 2006.
Yeah.
2006, I think, was the Floodstorm rhythm when Great Z had basically brought this thing called Power Soca
into being,
where I hear everybody else acting like they know about Power Soca and they invented this whole vibe, you know? Yeah.
I remember the Floodstorm rhythm featured a song by young Johnny Fontaine, aka Shorts James, Mr. Problem Child himself.
All right.
Everybody get mad. That tune. That was on the
Right.
first song. Yeah.
And I recorded, I think me and Fontaine, me and Problem Try recorded like hours apart. But I recorded in Vincy at High Science Studios. I
Yeah.
remember recording the night on the Floodstorm rhythm. And then it was late because I live Stubbs' studio, the Annisville, you know, bus
Yeah.
hard to catch. So I decided, boy, I go sleep on the couch till in the morning.
Straight.
Slept on the couch, and then he woke me up the morning and he was like, yo, while he was sleeping, greatness was happening. Because when I don't record my tune, I was like, see, no other song can come on this rhythm and better than my song. You understand? Yeah. when he woke me up and he said, play this, and he hit,
Play.
and he said, realize
Problem child is
problem
back.
child. Yeah. I was like, march out, march out, march out, march out, down the road, down the road. I was like, yo. Then when I heard it, as he told me, problem child, just record that last night and forward it. So while I was there sleeping, they, you know, been up working.
Yeah.
And I heard everybody get mad. Boy, I put my hand on my head, you know. And I said, boy, Z. I said, Z, you had allowed me to do a second song on the rhythm. Yeah. Yeah, man, because the tune bad, but you know what? That was the beauty. That was the beauty about it. You know, we have great, because I think you and Skinny did a collab on that rhythm too, yeah?
Yeah, but it was never released. Me, Skinny, and Future Legacy, a rapper at that time. You know, we did
Future.
but I don't think that track was ever released. That track was a high grade tune. That was long before Maximus did his high grade tune. That would have been one of the first high grade tunes besides Beckett in Soca, but it was never released.
Right. True.
I don't think it ever came out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that rhythm was there, but then after that rhythm now, you know, I went to Kamal.
Yeah, Mr. Archibald, Song Domain.
Right, Song Domain Studios in Calder.
Yeah.
So it was basically there now where, I mean, putting out efforts, getting a little airplay in the Soca arena was good for me. But then this is what was going to solidify, you know, that place in terms of, boy, yeah, this man talented and this man have the ability to be versatile and still be relevant.
Straight.
You know? When went to Kamal after 8.
Yeah.
At 8 p.m. the night. Cause Kamal disturbed me. Cause them time I depend a little, you know. I depend a little girl mission.
Yeah.
And Kamal is telling me, boy, urgently I need to come to the studio. I say, Kamal, boy, girl go get away. You know? this girl go get away. I can't come, you know. He said, man, you need to come there. So I forward.
Straight.
All right. Go over there. Like that was after 8 the night. Kamal had the rhythm, building and thing, and then I started just, you know, freestyle, little thing, and say, let's build this tune right here now. Because you ain't calling me back tomorrow. You can't disturb me 2 days on a straight. You know?
One and done.
So, one and done. So that's how that song ended up. You know, we vibe in the tune, and then I put something in the line and Kamal say, okay, how about if you try it this way? How about if you take out this line and put this word instead of that word, and together me and Kamal fit the song. So you could say me and Kamal wrote the song.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
It was a collaborative, orchestrative effort.
Yeah, because you know, one of the things that could make you a great artist or even a greater artist, and what I want some of these younger ones to figure out and understand is that even if you take your material and you believe in your material, nobody can say you can't believe in your material. But
yeah,
sometimes wisdom, you have to be able to be humble and, you know, listen to what other people have to say. Listen to what other people have to say, you know, and it's gonna go a very long way into being a very humble individual. And I think that was what kind of won that night. Like, we just basically no ego, you know, like I listening to you, you listening to me,
mutual respect.
Yeah, and it was like after I left Kamal that night, disappointed with my other mission, but
yeah,
The musical mission was what really counted at that point. And
Great. So they were
went
not great
home,
because you were
went
satisfied with what was accomplished and what took place.
yeah. And by the time I went home, slept, and again Kamal calling me after like around 8 o'clock in the morning, harassing me. Hello, what you want? Boy, you need to go and turn on your radio right now.
So the
Turn on the radio.
tune done, mix, master everything and put out while you sleeping. Quick and
I said
fast.
in the space of 12 hours, this man from 8 o'clock the night when I responded to that call, to 8 o'clock the morning, this man after I left his studio, this man sat there putting in overtime and extra work.
Yeah.
So much so that he could call me and tell me, wake up and listen VEfv. Song banging, take a jump. And throughout the course of the day, I switched to different stations and heard that song. And I was like, no, I've never had a song on the radio that played this often, that I've heard it so much in the space of one day and so many different radio stations. I was taken aback and I was like, boy, this could be the beginning of something new.
Different, the next level.
Yeah, you know, and indeed, because then I had never previously made Soca Monarch. Remember, you made Soca Monarch in 2004. You had 2 bangers that year, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you had to welcome me to the big leagues because I never did make it before you.
But you see, the funny thing is, right? I started in the musical journey after y'all started. Y'all had already gone professional before me and had tunes out and stuff. But because I used to always be the youth man on the block, hanging around you, Madzat, Devious, Skinny, Virgin, Six, Riff Rap, I was always youth man. So I used to just be like a sponge. I used to just intake all the knowledge and thing necessary. And then too, y'all had a habit of keeping that sharpness, that resilience and always clashing. So it always had me on edge too. So I always had to try and keep up. You understand? And then
naturally,
it was a dare from y'all that made me do soca. Because the same High and Shine competition, the winning prize that I won when I won the competition, the talent search part of it, was to get a recording. And Zoe decided, you know, we ain't going to do dancehall. And I was like, but I went with dancehall, what do you mean? Like, soca. You have to do soca. What, me afraid you can't do soca?
Yeah.
So it's y'all. Y'all really are the ones who really kind of guided my path through the music industry and helped me to get that early platform and launch pad following in your footsteps.
Yeah, man. But like, it was great. The energy was transferring back and forth because then eventually, you became a pillar yourself, Icon. You became a pillar where I know other artists used to actually sponge off your energy now. I know that. You understand? Yeah. If you ain't run up on certain stage and you ain't push certain vibes, you ain't hype up the crowd and bad up the crowd, some man have the energy to feed off. So I've seen it go both ways. You understand?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, you're man enough to come here now and say, all right then. I used to feed off all your vibe.
Yeah,
but it's the other way though.
Is it true?
I think it could go the other way though.
Yeah, because brother, I gotta tell you the truth. We used to have our little clash things going on in grammar school too. You know what I mean? But we never thought about taking it on the stage like that. And when we started recording, the opportunity came as a shock. Yeah. You know, Junior Sutherland gave us an opportunity. Well, told me to come to the studio, but being the way how we just be and seeing how y'all used to operate. When I went studio, I carried Galane and a whole heap of others who me supposed to go. But I didn't tell them it's me alone, the man sick. You know what I mean? I tell them we're going to studio this Saturday. So it's always, when he looking for me alone to come up there, it was must about like 5, 6, 7 of us. And he was, you know, like, I tell you, come, you bring all your friends and things.
Yeah, man, entourage.
You know what I mean? All the man do things. So I guess that is where it came from now. So I never felt away. You know what I mean? Because I always know we used to rock as a brotherhood. in the early days, because we saw something called Freestyle Fridays too. That used to take place at the old library, where every Friday had to come with new tunes and man would drop tune, and as a man drop a tune, you expect to drop one as your turn come wrong in the circle, and if you ain't make it, you get thrown out the circle.
Yes. Right.
You know what I mean? That was our school. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have
man.
been the professors to me at that time.
Yeah, for real, man. But even so, it's like, all right, look at it now. Bam, take a jump, took me to Soca Monarch. I did my thing. God love the song still. I didn't place, but did my thing. But look at
A
it.
great vibe.
It was always a great vibe, and that as well. Well, that to me in Soca was like one of my pinnacle moments.
Okay.
Making Soca Monarch for the first time and actually getting to represent. You know what I mean? So
Great.
that was a great achievement. That was like a Soca achievement, but for me overall it's still a great achievement, right?
Yeah.
The music continued after that, but you don't know already, like certain politics start to play in the thing now, and then man start to pull one side, and I try not to get too involved because I was already like a black sheep, right? And if I roll in with Icon, then they get vexed with Icon now because they figure about Icon and Landlord holding the same head. Them always rolling together from way back. So and certain fights start going on and politics in the music, and that was very unnecessary. Then producer don't want to voice. So no man, I remember you took me to a producer night. I saw the producer night and I got a car name. I think remember them times too, I never been driving, and everywhere I wanna go, you always coming and picking me up to carry me.
Small thing, brother.
Right? And then when we finish studio, you would drop me back home too.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's like, man, you rolling deep them days, and it's like when you go by the studio, so you can go past there and drop a tune before we go home and whatnot. And this producer was making me to know, yo, you ain't going on my rhythm. So,
man.
Go on your rhythm. Politics.
But funny enough, looking back at those things now, it didn't really profit them anything. And
what could they have gained? Nothing.
It didn't stop the vibes from growing either or continuing, and greater things were achieved after those times. And even still now, greater things can be achieved and will be achieved going forward.
Yeah.
So, brother, I want to know basically, right? Out of all those memorable moments in your career and all those performances over the years, from Talent Surge to Soca Monarch, what was the favorite performance song for the Landlord? What was Roger Thompson's favorite song to deliver on a stage? I know you had many tunes that used to get crazy responses over the years, but what was your favorite tune to really put over to a crowd?
I think it's between Take a Jump and I have another song that Madzat and Max, the bass player from
Hot Sun, HS Factor back in the time. Yeah.
Right. They had put their resources together and they built a really nice beat for me.
Yeah.
And I did a song called You Go Find Me There. Yeah. You see them two songs? I just love deliver those two songs. Whenever I sing them two songs, I get love. I get real love.
Straight.
And especially for me, I'm a man, I love melodies. I love melodies, and I love to utilize my vocal range. So for me, there's a difference between Take a Jump and Find Me There, and I love to sing Find Me There, right? Straight. But you can't go somewhere and not sing Take a Jump because that is like your flagship song, right? So there are times I would sing Take a Jump and not sing Find Me There, but I just love to sing Find Me There because I love to hit my ranges and
and really show the versatility and the skill.
Right.
Brother, a lot of people wouldn't know it, but I know for sure you are much more than just a dancehall and soca artist, because I've heard Landlord and Reggae singing love tunes to the ladies, and I have witnessed the Landlord shell plays with tunes that even won't release, just singing, just raw vocals. Sure. What is your favorite personal song? Now, it doesn't have to be a song that you perform, but your personal favorite track that you ever came up with?
Yeah, I think my personal favorite song, it's actually a reggae that I did called Love Forever.
Ah. But brother,
Yeah.
wait, we ain't going no further until you have to get them peace. You had to get them peace, Roger. You can't do that, brother. You gotta educate them,
Alright.
brother.
Alright, let me a cappella piece.
Yeah.
Boy, can I actually remember this song? Girl, I wanna give you everything you need. Just for you, I'll be the man that I can be. Only you can make me well. Make me can't remember this song, man.
Yeah, but brother, trust me. I know personally when it came to reggae vibes, there were few artists who were versatile enough to touch dancehall, soca, and still be bosses at reggae. You and Justice Immortal are two of the artists who used to stand out in every genre. And it's because of the versatility and the level of skill when it came to vocal control that gave you all that edge and that distinction that was a cut above many others. Many others, bar none. Many others were not on that level.
True.
Because people would have heard y'all do the hardcore side. But when that side just emerged out of nowhere, it had people shocked. But that side to me was the side that would translate and move above and beyond everything else that people would have known as commonplace.
True.
So I always say, boy, for vocalists, two of the most talented, gifted vocalists I have ever witnessed coming from the Vincentian side of the musical fraternity, if you want to call it, in the region, were yourself and most definitely Justice Immortal. There are others too, but for my generation and who I used to listen to and look up to, two of you would have had cemented that image within my mind as a young artist. Now, Brethren, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Getting into dancehall, it was Beanie and Bounty. Getting into soca, who was the artist that you used to admire and look at and say, boy, that is a boss, and that person is my favorite soca artist, or this person would have been an inspiration to you for getting into the soca side of the industry?
Yeah, well, for me, in the soca aspect of it, there was actually no soca artist that I would look up to and say, oh, this is the man I want to think. There's no soca artist existing for me on that level.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like how there was a Bounty and Beanie. Yeah, there's no soca artist. But if you're asking me about an artist who I still consider that, okay, whenever I hear music, I want to say, yeah, boy, he's a boss. And I'll tell you Bungie, because Bungie is basically we. You understand? And we is Bungie. You understand? So, yeah, Bungie for me.
Bungie Garland. Now, otherwise that, brother, if you could collaborate with any artist across the board, soca, dancehall, reggae, R&B, hip-hop, because I know you don't just focus on Caribbean genres, because you were somebody who used to listen to a lot of hip-hop, you know what I mean, and a lot of R&B. You know what I mean? And especially the ladies' tunes that we used to serenade a lot of the girls when we would have been backstage and things, singing some kind of tunes that people didn't expect you to know. You know what I mean? And doing it fluently like it was nothing, second nature. So who are some of the artists who you would have loved to collaborate with, or even would like to collaborate with, if given the chance, opportunity?
Rihanna.
Riri.
Right away.
Bad girl.
Right away. Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else?
And trust me, for me, music is music.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go to a point and say, okay, I would collaborate with this artist, but not this artist. For me, music is music.
Yeah.
Any two artists can come together and build a unique vibe. You understand?
Straight.
But it's just that I've always just loved the way Rihanna presented herself, you know?
Yeah.
And I've already seen myself on a stage dancing with Rihanna too, that's why.
Yeah, you want a little push back this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, so Riri, but Riri is very talented, bro. And on the other end of the spectrum, is there any particular producer you would have liked to work with, who you didn't get to work with, or any artist or producer who you worked with before, who you like to work with again on a extensive and different level now that you're more experienced and things are shaping up differently in the industry right now? Because there was a lot of politics then, but a lot of that has died down as the years have progressed and people have matured. Anybody you would like to collaborate with or work with that you didn't really get the full opportunity to because of what was happening at the time?
Well, I definitely, if I could say you, I'll say you. Because I don't think we ever really had the opportunity to collaborate on anything like the way we kept promising ourselves we would.
Yeah,
definitely. So you definitely in that list for me. Then I did something, me and Skinny, after we had basically squashed the whole beef and everything.
Yeah.
We did a nice dancehall thing. And we all know, Skinny has risen himself to that, to that level.
Yeah.
Where he's basically known around the region and stuff like that, and even outside too.
Yeah.
So to collaborate with another Vincy artist, obviously, Skinny would be there in that list too. I wouldn't mind doing another track with him. Now that we're like grown and matured now and above that point. And let's just say, like for producers, I would like to work again with the Great Z,
Straight.
I think Great Z has put out probably some of the best body of work for me that has gotten known. Like when I did that, Vex Up with Sergeant Bird, 1 kilometer, that best track that kind of cemented the thing too.
Yeah, man.
That was Great Z. Yeah, so
the man from your era.
Right, the man from your era. Right, so like working with Great Z, I would love to do that again. Just like how I would like to work with Skinny again, work with you. You know what I mean? Like, if there's artists out there that I've never really worked with that I would love to work with now.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it would be almost anyone. Right? It would be almost anyone, especially in the Vincy community where, if you have a certain fan base and you want to introduce a different artist to your fan base, can't really wrong with that. I think First Lady, sorry, let me not say First Lady. Sita, the lyrical diva. You know what I mean? Yeah, she has been our girl from since we know ourselves, basically. Yeah. And she's been persistent and has really stuck to it. Like, I've not really been, we've not really been on a level like talking much or anything of late, but
yeah.
I think we is we. Even if we ain't talk for 10 years after we start talk, we good.
Well, it's been a while we haven't conversated, and look at it, it's like we just see one another yesterday. You know what I mean?
No, but you know how this works. You know how this works.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how this works. Right? So, Sita, again, she's been persistent. I'm seeing her work, and definitely I would give it a go with Sita in the dancehall aspect, because myself, lately I've started to get back in gear. Like, I'm putting out tunes again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting out tunes again. I'm at a kind of comfortable place now where I could vibe a bit, Great. But when I just came to Canada, it wasn't like that, because it was like a brand new environment for me. And for me, it wasn't like, it wasn't conducive to writing for me. Back home, sitting under the mango tree was a different vibe. Yeah. Than being up here now and having to go to work, even if you don't feel like you want to go to work because you don't know insurance for the vehicle.
Yeah, everything is bills.
Matter of fact, you used to live out them parts here too, so you would understand the struggles, right?
Yeah, there's a different vibe. So, bro, now that you're out there and you're looking in at what is happening on the musical scene, especially in dancehall and soca and so forth, who are some of the young artists who stick out as very talented to you, who you see having immense potential and the ability to rise above and beyond and even take it on the international scene and make a name for themselves and fly the Vincy flag high, representing on the highest levels?
Dancehall,
soca, across the board. You could just give me a few, you don't have to give me everyone.
No. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't give you everyone. let's just say have a a good bit of younger generation artists now, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we still young, but the younger ones behind us now,
yeah,
right? Who coming up, man, like Mason,
yeah,
definitely. I love the way I think he's a producer too, and he's doing
yeah.
his own thing. Proud of this youth. Very proud of this youth. And there's who like, well, okay, let me just stick with Mason for now. So there's El Punk,
El Pan,
right?
very talented.
Yeah, right. And then dancehall, I haven't been paid much attention
Okay,
to the dancehall fraternity as of late, but I
yeah,
think there's a youth by the name of Determine,
yeah.
right? Yeah, Determine songs very good. He sounds like he can definitely do a thing. If I can't remember the names, I'm sorry, but I think I've heard quite a few based on the Shooting Stars rhythm that was released recently. That's when I kind
Okay,
of got familiar with some of them. So it's like the names might not come back to me right now, but they sound like a very good crap, and that Shooting Stars rhythm is really something else. It's a good production, and it kind of brought these artists to me as as an introduction, and I really love how they song. But
yeah,
consistency is key. So let's see what they will do after this project is finished, and who knows? But not much name I can call it because I can't really remember them right now. But I think we have a promising set of dancehall and soca artists coming out of Vincy for the next 10, 15 years to come.
Now, brother, if there's anything you could have changed, any adjustment, anything in particular you would change about your career and what you have done, what will you change? Any steps you would make differently that you thought you didn't really do properly or should have taken more time with or taken advantage of?
The only thing I would have changed is probably just to be a bit more aggressive in terms of with marketing and like putting out the music. But I think we really did our fair share. I think we tried our very best. We just didn't have social media available to us then the way it is it's prevalent now, right?
Yeah,
So nothing we could have done about that. But if we had it back in those days, definitely we would have been out there because like at that time, even without social media, you're talking about the days when man going around and sticking up a poster on a pole to advertise a show. You
yeah,
understand?
using wet flour.
Those days, the days of cassette
Yeah,
and this man, you understand? Those were the days that we struggled in and still managed to pull crowds to venues.
yeah,
So in our prime, we were still prolific. There's not much I could have changed. Not even you could have changed. You know what I mean?
at
In
that
terms of
point,
them
yeah,
now. But like if there's anything else, like I said, maybe try to be a bit I don't know. Like there's not much that I think could have changed because the decisions that we
yeah,
made them as straight men. You
yeah.
understand? We don't mix and mingle, we don't bow, we don't kiss ass for certain things.
True that.
Understand? So the decisions, some of those decisions that we made were because we just decided, boy, me ain't going down certain road for make it. Just that.
True, true
Can't
that.
change that. So
Yeah,
if I was to go back into it 15 years ago, I think I still would do the same thing. I'm gonna stay on the straight and the narrow, right?
always.
Even if my song not get number one on the station or my song not make it bigger than I want, print it in the newspaper and say certain things, it's okay. Still
Yeah.
gonna be me, real
Maintain the
authentic.
integrity, maintain your identity, and stay true to yourself and your
All
craft.
right, all right.
But brother,
So
no, 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 you wouldn't have changed anything. But is there any advice you would give your younger self, knowing how everything unfolded in the end? Like if you had the knowledge you have now, and you see how things ended up, what would you say to your younger self, especially after transitioning from Vincy, where you were on top of the music scene, basically? And then you're going out there and starting fresh in a new environment, not having the links necessary to pursue music and basically continue from where you were here at home. What advice would you give to your younger self?
well, I would say work hard and just try to see how much like you could try to learn how to become a producer. That's the only thing advice I would have given my younger self. You understand?
Straight.
Yeah. Become a producer, because then you realize had you had the talent and the ability to create your own beats, certain producer wouldn't show themselves on you.
Yeah.
And the time you go spend in a studio waiting for two other persons who you met there to record, to finish before you get your chance, you could have been at home doing your thing. So if I could have gone back, that was definitely one of the things I would have changed. And me looking back would have told my younger self, boy, teach yourself how to be a producer.
Yeah.
Learn instruments and learn how keys and all these things, because you want to be able to push yourself, launch yourself out. When you don't have to depend on people in this world, it's such a beautiful thing, you know?
Straight.
Yeah.
Straight. Now, given that piece of advice that you would have given to your younger self, based on what you're seeing in the industry now and the way that things are progressing with social media, Spotify, Reverb Nation, SoundCloud, YouTube, and so many other platforms, rising, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. What is something you would, or what are some things you would encourage the young artists to do or take advantage of, or some things you think are necessary for their growth and development in the space now? What would you say to them if you were to give them advice?
Well, I would tell them, if you're gonna use the social media platforms that are available to you now, right, that could actually push you out there, you understand? Then you have to stay on these sites, you know, upload stuff, upload content regularly, because consistency is key.
Yeah.
So the more you stay in the eyes of the public, and the more you're letting them keep abreast with everything you're doing, it's better for you. And the more you can build your fan base quicker like that, because then if you put up something now and they get like 5,000 views in 3 days, that's very good. And then you just decide, okay, it's good, it's satisfactory, and then you wait until another 6 weeks
to do things again.
You post. There's another young artist over there trying his best to do the same thing, and go over to his channel to see what he's got, because then you're good, but you're not consistent. You understand? Yeah, so I would definitely tell, these younger ones, that if you have all these mediums, at your disposal, stay consistent, post a lot, stay relevant. That's it.
Utilize them to the fullest.
Yeah, to the fullest, because back in the days, we never had it in a can. We never had it.
True.
We had to call Sarah and tell she family to call in to request the tune later on, because we want the song play. Yeah.
Because if I struggle, uphill battle.
We had to struggle. We had to beg people and say, yo, what? Allen calling in for the song hour. Call in and tell the people and play the tune as the only how the song and play. And the more the song play, people riding in the buses and are daily gonna keep hearing the song. The song is eventually, gonna become a household song. But It takes work and it takes different stages.
Yeah.
But it has to start somewhere. And for me, if I'm trying to market my thing and be aggressive with my marketing, I'm in people's faces telling them, yo, God, I request this song no man, and sleep on the thing. No, they don't have to do that, because without radio and airplay and all these things, you can put your things on YouTube and use social media and get a social media hit.
Yeah. And so, it will go viral even quicker, because the audience there is much more diverse and widespread. It's from a global perspective, not just a local one where the radio stations might operate on a certain level and have a following. Yeah, that is true.
Right. So, that's what I'm saying. If you have social media at your disposal now, just stay on it, stay relevant. Consistency is key. That's my only advice to them. Use them and stay consistent on them. That's it.
All right, bro. Now, what's next for Landlord? Because I know you said recently you've been getting back into music. What has the recent upsurgence of vibes placed within your perspective to achieve next, to embark upon? What plans do you have going forward? Can we expect consistent back-to-back recordings? Is there any particular strategy in place to ensure that the music will be put out on a more regular basis and, you know, released into the public space so everybody could get a taste of what you have to offer, what you're cooking with right now?
Yeah, right now, as we say right now, cooking with gas. Yeah, the thing firing right now. And been doing quite a few projects. I mean, after the Shooting Stars, I think I already have like 3 or 4 tracks
Yeah.
recorded and already put down. Just looking to strategize and push them in a certain direction now. They're already done. It's just about getting them, like marketing them out there now. So
Yeah.
that's what it is for me, because if at least every month I could drop 1 or 2 songs, or like just drop one and focus on marketing that track, you know,
Yeah.
getting a vibe, right? That's what it's going to be, you know? That's what it's going to be. Like after the Shooting Stars was released, the 15th January, mid-January, so I was thinking by mid-February, I would drop another one, but don't worry. February is basically almost out the window, so come next few days, I'm looking to drop something else again. All right, but I'm gonna pick one from the I'm gonna shake the bag and pick one. Yeah, and work with that one.
So another
No,
thing.
because
Yeah, over the years, right? We've seen the rise and the upsurgence of music videos having a prominent role when it comes to the
Right.
marketing of tracks. And I know back in the
Right.
days, that wasn't something that was very prevalent, or it wasn't popular. A lot of artists, well, we couldn't afford it. As young artists, we couldn't afford it. A lot of the
True.
older artists like Beckett, and even like people like Allergy and stuff would have been able to afford a music video. We couldn't afford it then. We didn't have the bag, we didn't have the links, the connections necessary to do it, or even the resources, you know, to portray a certain type of vibe. Are you looking to now get into that side of the marketing for your tracks, do more
Most
visuals and
definitely.
stuff like that?
Most definitely, and that's kind of the reason why. That's kind of the reason why the track wasn't really released, because I wanted to do a release with a music video, because even the one from January was supposed to have a music video as well.
See,
And it's this whole lockdown vibe, and you know, talking to the video man them, and the concept that we want to work, and the places that we want to go to capture the vibe. And they're like, oh, you know, we under curfew and we under lockdown, and this
it's restrictive.
So it's like nobody really wanna. If I'm gonna pay a man $1,500 to do a video, and then the police roll up and charging you $1,000
It ain't making
where you're not supposed to be. You're making $500, and these guys don't really wanna put their businesses at risk too much right now. So depending on the track you have and what you're looking for, then a man is willing to work with you. If it's one of them videos where you could just basically go in the basement of your building, just walk on your car 5 times and thing, and be like, yo, then that's simple.
yeah. One of those do-it-yourself videos.
But right, but it's also that's where the struggle comes in, you know, because some other people are putting out videos, but like for me, I could always tell you, for me, I'm kind of trying not to let what is going on stifle my creativity. Like I don't wanna already sit down, write this song, and then only now to realize now that I want to do the visuals for the song.
It's
you know what I mean? To portray exactly what was going on behind the whole writing of the song. Suddenly I end up having to go just sit down on a car bonnet and just recite the song. I don't want to do that, you know? Kill the vibe. So that's what I'm really battling with at the moment. Like trying to like squeeze this lime until all my creative juices just flow out and everything just come into one. Like a beautiful song with a very relevant video. You know?
So
that's what I'm struggling with right now. But definitely videos are in the making, man.
You're struggling to make a beautiful picture given all the negatives that are floating around. So you're looking for the right green room. You're looking for the right light room.
I know what you're doing, you know. Yeah, because picture always have negatives, as we don't say the zombie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
bro. No, What are some of the platforms you're on, and what are some of the handles you use? Where can they find information on you, your music? How can they get in touch? You know what I mean? And just vibe with Landlord and keep up to date.
Well, I'm in the process of trying to expand on that part where I could reach out to a lot of fans in the various spots. So far, I'm at Instagram.
Yeah,
My Instagram handle is I am the Landlord.
yeah. Straight spelling? Because I know a lot of artists just put an artistic
Landlord.
Is that straight spelling?
No, it's D.
Yeah.
No, it's D LAN LORD.
Okay.
The Landlord, yeah.
Straight.
So it's I am the Landlord for Instagram, and Facebook is the Landlord Thompson.
Yeah.
And that's about it. There's no Twitter for me. There's no Snapchat. There's no
YouTube.
What else is there? Yeah, there's YouTube, the Landlord Music.
Well, so there is more. What about SoundCloud? You have any SoundCloud set up as yet?
I think I had a SoundCloud, but I'm like since my period of dormancy, I don't.
You haven't been updating it.
Remember, I can't quite remember if yeah, so I don't know. Even I had a Reverb Nation too, but you remember these things it like years ago. So
it's been a while.
You know, it's a matter of going back and like creating some new ones and re-uploading some new stuff to it. But that's pretty much it.
Straight, bro.
Yeah.
So the next project.
So, Facebook and Instagram.
And Instagram. What's the handle on Instagram?
Yeah. No, I am the Landlord. That's the handle for Instagram.
Straight. So I want to give you thanks once more for the time, for all the great memories, all the information, you know what I mean, and the facts and the history that you have disposed in this edition of VEtv. And we're definitely looking forward to come.
It's always a pleasure and a joy and a splendor to forward and reason with a man like yourself, because you're well knowledgeable. And for me, it's one of them times where you know, once you reason with somebody who highly intellectual, once you don't know it all, then you can always learn from that person as well too. So for me, it's always a joy for reason with your brother. Trust me. So respect. Just hold it, and me love the direction in which this initiative is going. You know, I love it. Whether you reason with a man like me from the era before, and then the younger generation. So I hope you guys can, you know, also make sure give the younger ones them give them the platform to let them develop and get the exposure, because you never know who will be looking in to one of these interviews and, you know, realizing what the talent is. You understand? And who the talent is coming from. So great initiative, and thanks for having me here. And think mommy going to beat me. So after right now, yeah.
Salute, the Landlord, brother. Enough respect, enough blessings. So there you have it, people. We've come to the end of yet another edition of VEtv, where we speak about everything Vincy, the art, the craft, the pioneers, the trailblazers, and all those who have been involved in the development of our culture and our arts here in St Vincent and the Grenadines and beyond, representing flying the flag high 784 to the world. Remember, please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when there is a new edition on next video featuring one of our stalwarts or one of our new and upcoming rising stars in the Vincy industry. Keep it locked, stay safe, God bless. Do your best to be your best, and God will do the rest. Enough respect, enough blessings, give thanks. Respect, brother. One love.
I'm fine, I said I'm fine. You ain't gotta call all the time. Don't call me anymore, girl. I'm fine, I said I'm fine.